If you're inspo tanks, and make no mistake, you've come to the right place. Just give to Neil the time to straight up blow your mind with a new show of drawing a blank.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, let's not beat around the bush and finally talk a little bit about the newest protagonists in Warriors: The Lost Stars. I'll be designing the main three today and talking about my thought process when it came to designing them. So there will be minor spoilers as I talk about their characteristics, but no story spoilers, and this is not going to be a proper review of the book itself, just some insight into my character designing process. I want to give people plenty of time to read the book for themselves and experience the plot points firsthand, so please respect that in the comments below as well. Feel free to talk about the characters, but try to keep any story beats vague. Alright, let's begin with Shadowpaw. I get a lot of requests to do tutorials on my character design process, so for this episode I'm going to try to break down my thoughts as much as possible. Let's start by laying down what we know about him. Shadowpaw. Shadow Clan Medicine Cat Apprentice, Dovewing and Tigerheart Star's son, and as far as canon description of this boy goes, he's a gray tabby tom with amber eyes. And I think he's also been cited as being smaller than his siblings. You'll have to fact check me on that last bit, but either way, that's a pretty open description. You could go a lot of different directions from that. Personality-wise, we know Shadowpaw is quiet and introspective, kind of anxious, with good reason, and very spiritual. We also know that Shadowpaw takes his duties extremely seriously, and doesn't like to burden others with what he feels to be his responsibilities. And his background as a rogue before Dovewing and Tigerheart Star returned to the clans makes him a bit more open-minded than a lot of other warriors. Plus, we also know that Shadowpaw is prone to seizures that are also connected to his visions, and this makes other cats a little nervous of Shadowpaw, making Shadowpaw a bit of a loner. Shadowpaw resents that part of himself a bit and wishes he could be quote-unquote normal. Alright, that's a lot better. We can really start to work with this. So, first things first, I pulled up my designs for Dovewing and Tigerstar. As Shadowpaw's parents, it's important to me that he carries some family resemblance. I really enjoy the idea of Shadowpaw looking a lot like his mother Dovewing. Small feet, short, and soft. This matches his personality well too. Dovewing and Tigerstar tend to baby Shadowpaw more than his siblings, and while the book reasons it's because Shadowpaw's seizures and visions, if Shadowpaw also carries his mother's childlike body stature, it feels a bit more appropriate. Shadowpaw does get a few traits from his father's side though too. If you're familiar with my designs of the OG Tigerstar lineage, then you'll probably remember that I like to give Tigerstar clones a mane of fur, and Shadowpaw gets a very docile version of one of those manes. I also gave Shadowpaw smaller, rounded ears, which is a combination of both Tigerheart Star's and Dovewing's ears. And his face shape is more like his father's, even if his eyes, nose, and eyebrows are more like his mother's. Of course, Shadowpaw is also a tabby, so he probably gets that from his father's side as well. I wanted a nice dark palette for Shadowpaw to reflect his name and the dark circumstances that Shadowpaw will have to face due to his powers. The markings are really a mix of ideas from Dovewing and Tigerstar's designs that show that Shadowpaw is complex. Generally in character designs, a color palette like this would indicate something bad or evil, but Shadowpaw's shape design contrasts that idea by keeping him soft and friendly looking. And even though it's not canon, Shadowpaw has red eyes. It's just a fact of life. Seriously though, I'm going with red eyes because again, I feel it fits Shadowpaw's duality as something kind of frightening, but his eye shape is also very soft and harmless. Shadowpaw's gaze is now a little unnerving, as it probably should be. Plus, red eyes just really make the whole design pop in my personal opinion. I'm a big fan of red-eyed Shadowpaw. Moving on to Rootpaw, let's start with our general description again. A Sky Clan apprentice, son of Violet Shine and Tree. Yellow tabby, blue eyes. Alright, clear enough. Personality-wise, he's brash, acts before he thinks, not very self-aware, embarrassed of his father, wants to be seen as important, while also wanting to not go against the grain, and a bit obsessive. All in all, just kind of a hot mess. Oh yeah, we can work with this. So, I actually haven't drawn Tree yet, so I only have Rootpaw's mother Violet Shine to use as a real familial reference. That's fine though. I have an idea of how I want Tree to look in my head as well. Rootpaw obviously takes after his father in a lot of respects, but I still wanted to carry over some things from Violet Shine. Rootpaw's general facial features share a lot in common with Violet Shine, like his muzzle, ears, and eye shape. When it comes to body shape, I imagine Rootpaw is very scrawny. He is big-chested though, and I think by the time he gets his warrior name, he'll fill out a lot. But while he's still an angsty, desperate to prove himself apprentice, he'll have the body type of an awkward teenager. It only seems fitting. And with a name like Rootpaw, I had to give the boy some spiky fur to match that charming personality of his. I will also fully admit here that I stole Moon Kitty's tail spikes idea to use in my own design. I just love that. Color palette wise, I went for a muted yellow, and also carried over some of Violet Shine's markings onto Rootpaw's tabby and cream coat. It was really important to me to keep Rootpaw's markings asymmetrical, to reflect his unbalanced nature. Rootpaw's desires to fit in and not be like his father is something that Rootpaw is going to have to learn how to deal with, and that struggle can be represented through his character design. Yay! Subtle symbolism! And yes, I am breaking canon once again and giving Rootpaw purple eyes. We all headcanon Violet Shine with purple eyes, and now Rootpaw has them too. In my opinion, it just works well with his insecurities about fitting in a little bit better than blue does, and purple and yellow are complementary colors, so it just really looks nice. 10 out of 10. And last but not least, we have Bristlepaw. Okay, I think everyone knows what her warrior name is now, so I'm just gonna say it and call her by that because she gets her name in the book and we already got told it before the book was even out, so Bristlefrost! Love that name, by the way, and I love this gal. Bristlefrost is a ThunderClan warrior, daughter of Ivypool and Fernsong, ThunderClan's new power couple. She's described as a gray tabby with blue eyes and thick fur. Bristlefrost is self-conscious, puts a lot of her self-worth on the opinions of others, hardworking, and is always trying to act in a way that makes her look good. She is also a bit of a hopeless romantic and quick to act in the face of danger. A very strong and likable personality. So, for Bristlefrost, I of course had to make sure to pass down some traits from Fernsong and Ivypool, but this time I tried to combine them in a more subtle way. That way she doesn't look like too much of either of her parents. In Warriors, when a cat looks like one of their parents, it tends to be an important part of that character's story arc. And since Bristlefrost doesn't really seem to have any of these DNA-based problems, it felt important to me to make sure that she looked like her own cat, and not a copy of either her mother or father. It was also important to me that Bristlefrost had that same duality in design that Shadowpaw had, to be both intimidating and kind-looking. So, Bristlefrost is fluffy and pointy, broad-shouldered and muscular, but with dainty feet and a long, beautiful tail. Bristlefrost cares about appearances, but she's also a tough gal, so I wanted the design to reflect that. And yeah, as you can see, I am going off canon with all three of my designs. Bristlefrost here is a Duluth Calico, and I am so glad a lot of the fandom has also been going with this because I love it a lot. There's already so many great cats in Warriors, and we need more calicos, man! Making Bristlefrost a Duluth Calico just feels right. Her markings are soft and subtle. I didn't want them to be too distracting, but I did want them to contrast her spiky fur and give her a softer look. This helps emphasize her strength and beauty. And then her ice blue eyes are definitely carried over from her parents and shine brightly compared to her duller coat patterns. And now that we have our characters, let's just put them together and draw them a quick background. Older Shadowpaw and Bristlefrost on the outside, and younger Rootpaw in the middle of them, all in the snow. Hopefully they'll all get to see Greenleaf soon. That's going to be it for this episode, everyone. Let me know what you think of my designs below, and tell me what you think of the new protagonists in general. I'd love to hear what the fans are thinking. Remember to keep this a spoiler-free zone for a little while longer while we wait for more people to read the book. I'm really excited about this new cast of characters, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. And, in case you haven't heard, the Warriors website is having a poll to let fans help name Rootpaw. If you haven't voted yet, be sure to check out the link in the description. You have until the 22nd to get your vote in. Personally, I think Root Spring and Rootfall are both top tier names. You know, just saying, not trying to sway your vote or anything. Anyway, have a fantastic week, and I hope you remember to please stay inspired.